fiscal year 25-26 budget workshop of the City of Callaway Board of Commissioners. It is Tuesday, August 19th, 2025, at 1 p.m. If you'll stand with me, Commissioner Pelletier will do the invocation. Commissioner Ayers will lead us in the pledge.
Lord, we thank you for allowing us to gather today for the goodness of our city and our citizens. We ask you guide us in responsible stewards of our resources and make prudent decisions to ensure our prosperity of our beloved city of Callaway. We pray for the safety of our citizens, our first responders, and all of our employees. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
City Clerk, please do the roll call.
Commissioner Davis.
Here.
Commissioner Bird.
Here.
Commissioner Pelletier.
Here.
Commissioner Ayers.
Here, ma'am.
Mayor Henderson.
Here. And is there anybody here who doesn't know the rules for public participation? I think everybody that's here has been here before, so we'll skip that. And we'll go on to our regular agenda. Our first item is the draft budget for fiscal year 2026. Gentlemen, would you like to go ahead and start the discussion? Yeah, well, do you have anything to say? And then
So right now you see the numbers that are in front of you. This is with all the changes that were made at the last meeting. We don't have very many more changes, but we are going to have one significant change to it. Now, first off, we're in the middle of open enrollment right now with health insurance. That's going to change the numbers. So as soon as we get through all that, we'll get those numbers in there as quickly as we can. If you expect any more major changes to the revenues or expenditures after that. I will make the announcement that our finance director is going to be retiring somewhere around February, March of next year. So we are going to put in a position in here such as an assistant finance director.
Yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and get that hired in October. So we'll start our search. That way they can work with David for, as long as we can to get them up to speed on our processes and procedures. So we will be putting that in there.
Yeah.
As of right now, we're looking like we're somewhere around a negative $125,000 for that line number on the general fund. So
Should have started a year ago.
as far as that position, should we go ahead and start advertising?
we will start
Right
advertising.
now.
Yeah.
We'll start advertising for October and start that.
Good.
And then I imagine that position will just kind of disappear. Or will we keep an assistant, once?
No, that person ultimately is going to transition over into the finance director.
That's what I'm saying, and that
position
will disappear.
Yeah, I'll take that one out.
Just a temporary position.
But we just feel like this is, in the best interest of the city.
Definitely.
David's got a lot of processes and procedures that are not common to cities. I'm not gonna lie,
That's why things run
that's
so
why things
well.
run so smooth, because we do have such good internal control over that stuff, and we wanna make sure that we continue that tradition. David has done an incredible job for us, so.
Yes, he has.
And, he's ready to retire and go and enjoy life outside of the city. And hopefully, internally, you can still not see us on there.
Hopefully not.
Have you lived in Lynn Haven?
Southport.
Southport? But Lynn Haven needs a good accountant.
I was already approached, sir, 2 years ago, by one of the commissioners.
Yeah.
I said, no, thank you. Your pension sucks. Like, I would go there for nothing, because I was getting things.
Yeah.
10-year vesting. I heard these days, so.
Is that the only thing you have to,
That's really about it. Other than that, the changes have been made to this budget.
so, anybody up here have anything they want to bring up as far as the budget?
I just have one item I want to discuss, and that's the vehicle. I asked for a list of vehicles, and Yeah, last meeting you told us 2 people per vehicle.
Not on all of them. I mean, some of them are specific.
So like in the water department, you've got 8 individuals, 8.5, and 8 vehicles. That's 1 vehicle per. Okay, and that's just the 150s and you know, all that good stuff. In sewage, you have 7.5, you got 6 vehicles. In streets, you got 14 people, and you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 vehicles. So I'm just trying to see why we need another vehicle in that department. Now, unlike these leisure services, he's got 6 vehicles with 18 individuals. I can see where he needs a vehicle. I kind of support that. But I'm trying to figure out why you want to have another vehicle, and that was listed under under sewage. When you only have 14 people in that department, you have 11 vehicles. And you're telling me that that's a norm, and I see it all the time where you have 3 vehicles from the same department on the same job. So it seems to me that I don't understand why we gotta have another vehicle. This doesn't make any sense, because I took the inventory of all the vehicles. I didn't add the dump trucks and all those other vehicles that you have.
I'm looking here.
All those vehicles are functioning. I mean, we have any broke down.
If they weren't functioning, they should have told us.
Service, I'm looking at the, I'm assuming this is not that heat station, which is building.
And all the vehicles that I counted, all F-150s, 350s, you know, nothing, no dump trucks, no vac trucks, no street sweeper, none of those. And the one that's really short on vehicles is leisure services, when you start looking at the ratio of 18 versus 6. So I see why he needs another vehicle, and I guess he could probably do with just 1 more. It seems to me that, you know, your other departments are top heavy on
I'll
vehicles.
have to take a look at what you're looking at, as I'm looking here.
Well, what I'm looking at is a list that I asked city clerk to send me. I asked for all the vehicles in the city.
We have a service crew that has 2 people, the superintendent has 1, the foreman has 1, the utility specialist has 1, the service crew has 2, the on-call has 2, and then there's a dump truck, so that's, we don't count those.
Or that one dump truck that's out there, that little dump truck, it's always being used. I see it all over the city. Matter of fact, I've seen it downtown Panama City.
And then we've got a 98 that's out of service, the lift station foreman has to have 1, and then the service crew has 2, collections foreman has to have 1, lift station has 1. And that's it for fully staffed. Well, for whatever, and I'll have to go back and relook at exactly what you're looking at. I thought this was what was sent out. You're saying something different than I'm looking at.
Well, then your records are wrong, because this record I was that the city clerk provided was from your maintenance shop. Okay, every vehicle in this city, I've got from the dump truck to everything else. And I'm just going, and I asked for it by department. I asked how many miles are on the vehicle and what type of vehicle. And they even gave me the VIN.
The big, and like I said, one of the reasons why we're asking for anyone in the, our supervisor, of course, we're having issues with him because he is out all the time. That's why we're requesting a 4-wheel drive that we can shift down. And then that is going to give us the 1 extra vehicle that we're wanting to rehab, so that we will have an extra one that will be used multiple departments across the city. Most of the time, like right now, I would say we're using most in utility billing because they only have 2 trucks. And when they're down, we're trying to locate a truck for somebody to have in that department. That's why we're not really looking at surplusing anything. We want to try to rehab this one to have it as a spare. Every time I call down and try to get a truck, I don't have them. But I know our water line break team, that's 2 per person. The foreman is running the city, the supervisor runs the city. So there's gonna be one in their trucks unless they're taking somebody with them. And then when you get into the sewer department, you still have the same situation. The foreman has to have a vehicle, the supervisor has to have a vehicle. And then most of the time, other than that, those guys are running 2 per vehicle.
Well, you got a 350, a 150, a 250, in that department.
And unfortunately, we are in the middle of open enrollment. And so Bill and those crews are in a meeting right now.
No, I just don't support it. I don't see where you need another vehicle in that department just because we want a 4x4. You know, you've got plenty of vehicles. You've got more vehicles in that department in relationship to total number of employees versus leisure services. Leisure services has 18 employees with 6 vehicles, and he's making do with 6. Gonna go to 7. So if you add the total employees between the 3 departments, it's 16. You got 25, 26 total, I just don't see.
I've never been out the shop and had an extra truck sitting around.
No. That's because everybody has, you've got people showing up on work sites with 3 different vehicles from the same department. And I don't think they're being used properly, personally. You got vehicles downtown, you got vehicles that I see, and I asked you specifically what's happening with vehicles on a Saturday night downtown. It shouldn't be there. That means we're paying that employee, and plus we're using mileage on our vehicles.
Well, we'll figure out, that was the Park Ranger truck.
All right.
And we'll figure out what's going on.
What was the Park
When you say
Ranger?
downtown, it wasn't.
Downtown is Camilla. What's the
Downtown
Park
is-
Ranger doing in Camilla?
Yeah, I'm just making sure that we understand downtown's not in the city.
You know,
They were inside the city limits of Cali.
yeah.
Why a truck was there, I don't know,
But that's just one example, city manager. I could start taking pictures of every one of them, but I think all of us up here see it, but we never say anything. And I'm just saying that I don't see where the justification of that vehicle is. That's just my opinion.
Anybody else have anything?
Other than on-call work, do they take the truck home?
Yes.
Or they have to come and check in the shop either too?
if they live inside the city limits, they take the truck, we let them take their truck home. That keeps them from having to drive, but if they live outside the city limits, they have to drive near town and clock in and then get in the truck.
So we don't have trucks going home to Woodhaven or having the city with the bid.
I did see
And
that.
every time a truck leaves the city limits, I get a notification. And most of the supervisors do too, if they have it set up that way. And that pretty much does me also about the home call. I can pretty much tell you all weekend long how many calls we've had. I'm looking to see, because it just comes to as a notification.
Also, on this boom mower, I thought we were gonna keep the newer John Deere one.
We are keeping one, yes, we'll surplus the other. We'll surplus the other, the older one.
Yeah, we're still showing it.
It's listed there as the, it's just listed. Also, that mower that we looked at that was out here, we have the availability to purchase that one October 1. They do need a letter of intent from the city. Even though y'all have tentatively approved it, it hasn't been approved in this budget, but we would like to go ahead and send a letter of intent saying we'll take that one. If not, we would, if it gets sold to somebody else, we're gonna have to wait on one to come in and we might be subject to tariffs, increased tariffs, which would be increase in price. So we would like to go ahead and send a letter of intent. And we can break the letter of intent. That's okay. Doesn't look good to our suppliers and our vendors. But if nobody has really any objections, then we're gonna go ahead and be sure that everything can.
I don't think that's a problem, that we really.
I don't have any problems with that.
Equipment in, so.
I just have a problem with that extra vehicle, and nobody wants to chime in. I just think that when we start looking at the ratio as to why, we're doing this.
Watch some videos on that mower. It's got a serious maintenance program daily. Whoever drives that thing, they gotta be dedicated. Can't be just anybody jumping in and out of it. And
No, you have to be trained to be on those mowers. Those mowers are,
I watched
nobody just jumps up on there because they will. We may put that under the finance director's responsibilities through January. David wants to drive it.
Does anybody else have a feeling about the truck?
Well, I have not studied that situation to the degree that you have studied it.
Well, that's why we have a budget, Commissioner. You know as well as I do, when they give me a budget, I'm gonna do a lot of research, especially when it comes to vehicles.
As do I, but I didn't look over that particular situation.
I also asked for a report on vehicle accidents, which was not correct. We have vehicles out there that we're getting into accidents. We've got two. One particular year ago, I asked what happened to the public director and to this date, I still don't have an answer as to why that vehicle, what kind of accident and what happened in the accident. See, and I'm not gonna run after our city manager. I asked him one time. I shouldn't have to run after him 2 or 3 times, say, hey, what happened to this vehicle? And so we got vehicles that are being damaged and that none of us up here are aware of unless we see it. Okay, and when we say downtown, that dump truck 3 weeks ago was down in the MLK area. Okay, so you all see it, but you all don't talk about it. I'm not the only one that sees this. We have a GPS system that I don't know if we're using it or not. That if we're not, we probably should be looking at where they're at. I can talk about speeding vehicles. We already had one that got a speeding ticket, but I see it in my neighborhood all the time. And again, we see it and we don't do anything about
Well,
it.
when I see it, I let him know.
Yeah. Yeah, but
When that truck left the city, isn't that triggered?
Yeah.
So we know when that truck left the city.
Yeah, I have detailed records of where your trucks are. That's like with the truck, we'll figure out and see how long it's sat there, we'll familiar.
You know what?
Also, the history tells us, speeds, we have speed alerts, if somebody's driving excessively, we get alerts for all that.
what's excessive to you on the report?
Anything over the speed limit,
So if you're in the neighborhood, the speed limit's 15 and they're doing 30, you're gonna get alerted?
yeah, and we can pull the history back.
And then I want to be counsel employee that was driving.
And generally, not only does the employee get it, but the whole entire department will get counseled. We've got to sit there and pull a report up and go, just so you can see what we see. It doesn't mean it's not going to continue to happen. That's a human factor. We just have to try to manage, and multiple times will people write up and we move from there.
In your question, this came obvious in the discussion that the city manager wasn't totally aware of why this additional truck was involved. Bill is not here, but you raised the question.
It's
and it
the
deserves
ratio
an
of
answer.
employees versus vehicles.
Now, well,
You've got,
we're not micromanaging their jobs,
no,
so this,
but you gotta remember, he told us at the last meeting that the ratio, you better see 2 people in that vehicle, okay?
That works for everybody except for like foremen and supervisors.
Well, that's
And the
fine.
specialized trucks.
Yeah, I understand that. It doesn't matter when you've got 8 people in the department and 8 vehicles. Okay? That's in the water department. In sewage, you got 7.5 and you got 6 vehicles. That's my point.
Well, the situation, as I see it now, city manager comes up with additional justification for it, rationale for it, or it could be pulled. So just give him the opportunity to come up with
That's fine. I don't have any problem. I'm just asking the question. That's,
and appreciate you bringing up the question.
then we still need to talk about that back truck. That's on here, on this budget. If the back truck comes, or the plow truck.
And we need to talk about the whole solid waste department.
Right. And I think that needs to be done at commission meeting versus the
It will
budget
be.
meeting.
We'll have it prepared for the commission.
Right, I've got the contract. So,
Contracts.
What
the
comes,
bids on solid waste,
Oh, you've got them?
I asked for them,
Okay.
so those of you who don't have them, you should ask city clerk. I've asked city clerk for them, I've got them,
how many,
3.
they all local?
No. The little bid, I don't think, I didn't look at the address on the little bid.
Guess we'll wait till next week.
Right, I think it's a longer discussion than what we need to do today on that, but
Yeah.
that still has to, that discussion has to come. There's a company called Express Disposal and Recycling.
The page numbers were cut out of your budget.
All of them are, yeah. I figured it out, I'm not.
If you'll go to solid waste, we did add some information.
What page?
You don't have a page
Numbers are
number.
gone, so- so you've got-
There you go.
Before the summary,
Got it. Got it.
Need the last page.
Okay. So we're looking at solid waste.
Go to the second page at the bottom.
the average was, increase in accounts, I just estimated 75 increase for next year. We're already at 6,594. Again, those are average numbers, so that's like, the average number counts for the whole year. Just so you have an idea, I know some of the bids came in with and without the new employee, because like, we've got a new employee in there, due to the growth of the department. So without the employee, it's 936, with the employee, it's 1027. Now, those are budgeted numbers, and you can see that the numbers are gonna probably come down, because some of our expenditures don't hit those budget numbers. So
What was the total number you gave on the utility accounts? I missed that.
they're right there, the average number, the total that we have as of 7/31 was 6,594.
I asked for that number, I was given 7,324.
But that may include the
You can't use
outside.
water, you have to just use solid
sorry.
waste. You have to just use solid waste.
Solid waste should be,
It's only in the city, so they have to
Right,
be
I
careful when
understand that.
quoting the numbers.
okay. We don't do solid waste at that.
We don't do solid
Right.
waste out
I
sanitary.
remember, okay.
It's only city accounts.
But this figure does not include capital expenditures, equipment, et cetera.
No, so I back that out. So naturally, it's gonna go up if you want to.
But if we're comparing this cost against the bid cost, theirs included there.
It's probably gonna include depreciation, I can recalculate that. The depreciation for this department is $60,000, so. If you got 6,000 accounts, they're going to, this is gonna go up a little bit. That's per month, so.
Second thing that these numbers don't include is the administrative side of it. That's the time of calling in complaints. You really can't quantify that. Follow-ups, verifying things get done, which we're still gonna have to do that. Even when we have a hauler, you're gonna have people that are gonna complain. We're gonna have illegal dumping questions from me, who's gonna handle it. So we're gonna have them go and handle it, and then we're just gonna pay, and then who's gonna pay? It's gonna be taxpayers. So you're gonna have to put the administrative cost on whatever their bid is. You're not gonna be able to take whatever their bid is and go, oh, that's what we're gonna charge. It's gonna be an administrative side that we'll have to figure out. We're probably gonna need, we'll definitely keep a truck, a call truck. We're probably gonna have to keep a person in that position. Definitely for what we consider a transition, and but somebody's gonna have to be boots on the ground. That'd be one person that will probably continue to run the truck if we needed it. Illegal dumping, stuff like that.
Operate the sweeper.
Correct. Operate the sweeper.
Yeah, right.
We're gonna run that thing up and down the street.
He knows we're gonna bring that up every time.
I know.
I just want you to give me the list of dirty roads.
But the reason I was bringing up the capital is, if you remember last year, when we raised the rates up to 13,
Correct. That was
we were figuring $1 to $2 of those rates to cover future capital expenditure.
correct.
That's one of the reasons I backed it up.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna distort any, like if we purchase, I leave that 225 in there for the truck, I'm gonna throw that number for a huge group, which isn't really a true number.
Right.
And you're gonna depreciate that truck over multiple years. It's not gonna hit all in 1 year, so you can't have that included in there. We can add the depreciation, which as you can see, it's the last line up on the top there, just above total operating. It runs about $70,000 a year, depending on the age of the vehicles. Now, naturally, if you buy a new one, it's probably gonna go up a little bit. If you get rid of an old one, it might offset it. Depends on the value of that truck at the time we get rid of it, if it's an depreciation left.
But see, by backing it out, and that's the right thing to do is back it out, but if the bids come in the same as what these values are, then actually that would be a better situation, because we would have to add that capital back in, which theirs would be included in their bid, whatever their business model is. So, but this gives us an idea, because in backing that out, we have to understand, you have to understand that that doesn't include the equipment. So, and we have a history on those grapple trucks of failure, whether it be engines or whether it be mechanical. So,
Or something else.
yeah, or something else.
Or supposed to be fault. Electrical lines.
And still have utility billing within the building, they're still gonna be doing the collection from the people who are on top, they're still gonna be on that debt. It's all included, the bad debt isn't just water, it's everything on that bill. So you have all of that, they're gonna take the complaints, they're gonna take the phone calls, it's gonna be in utility billing, it's also gonna say, you're charging us for this, so we're gonna get calls. So you still have all that administration expense, even if it's outsourced, gonna be hitting.
But you're not, here again, you backed out the capital and you backed out that out of the,
There's an allocation, a cost allocation, that's in here for the overhead departments, and I let that in.
okay.
So like my time account, Tables time, there's still time that gets charged to this department for indirect cost allocation every year. So that's in there.
That would then be part of our decision making, which is not included in this figure. Okay. Well, it is included in this figure.
It is the cost allocation there.
Okay.
Anything else on solid waste anybody wants to ask about? We'll talk about that.
Anything else we're looking at?
Give a little bit more justification on that.
I will. Have you seen that person yet?
Anything else on the budget? Anybody?
I'm sorry?
I was just asking if there's anything else on the budget.
I don't have anything else.
Anybody else have anything on the budget?
No. And all the changes so far are in this budget, right?
Everything is in there with the exception of the assistant finance director. Because that was just told to the city manager on yesterday, Monday. He told me that.
Just now telling you that?
I'm just, no, I've been telling you for 5 years.
You've been telling us.
Yeah, I knew about you.
I don't need any year early. I'm ready to go.
You know
The
what?
longest I will stay will be July. Depends on me. Most likely I'll be done after the audit.
But we appreciate you not saying that anyway.
He wants to make sure his numbers carry up good.
That's right.
I can't blame you.
No.
I'd stick around too.
Well, by that time, we'll already be in next year's budget.
I'm not doing another budget.
Yeah.
That's for you. I'm done. That's why I said July will be the end.
That's it, because we start this in August.
Yep.
You don't want to sit at that table anymore. Anything else on that?
Good.
Did anybody in the audience want to make any comment on the budget?
I would. I went over this budget.
Well, you need to come up.
Okay, I'll come up there.
This is public participation, so I
We
need
were
you.
talking from the seats last time, so. What I have seen in here, what is a special pay? I've come up with 46,000, and it's throughout, from 10 out throughout the, it says annual budgets and bonuses. What is the annual?
Christmas.
It's a Christmas bonus
Christmas bonus.
plus longevity. There's the longevity in there too, because what do you get, $10 per year for every year you?
So this is the employees, not the administration,
No,
but the
it's
employees
employees.
get this.
Yes.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Old Except it's orange, should be red.
I'm gonna have to teach y'all what Atlanta looks like.
Right, that's right, go Braves.
Thank you. Somebody got it. And it had to be a woman amongst all y'all.
Well, I'm a Braves fan. so
Me too.
It's a bad year, but you gotta hang with them.
Hey, look here, we can't have a great Maddox all the time.
No.
Or John Smoke.
Or John Smoke.
That War Eagle.
Okay, that finishes our discussion on the budget. So we'll go to the discussion regarding reserve. And I think Commissioner Pelletier, you're the one that asked about this discussion, so.
I just wanted to see, I know I've asked for totals, the last totals I got was in the general fund, 10 million. Of course, a lot of this, I don't know what's encumbered, what's not encumbered, I guess, we can get that, I don't know if he's ready for that or not. There's a lot of things in our city, that need to be done. I just thought maybe we could kind of look at, there's other things that we can, for example, out of East Bay, we've got a dirt road out there, that the only dirt road in our city. And to me, we ought to be fixing that. Of course, I hate all those other roads at East Bay with the cobblestones and all that good stuff. That's gonna be a nightmare for us to maintain over the years. And of course, I think they're gonna be doing a bunch of sewage drainage work out there, correct, city manager?
Correct.
So I'm just thinking, that East Bay's not in our budget. We haven't talked about paving at all, which we need, I know we didn't get it 2 years in a row now, we've not gotten a grant on paving.
We did get a grant this year.
Pardon?
We requested 500,000. We were allotted 250.
Right.
We're still going to go ahead because our original plan was to get 500, put 500 with it for $1 million,
Right,
repay Southgate and Beulah.
which needs to be done.
In this budget, we have that project in its entirety to do Southgate and also do Beulah.
Right.
And then there's an additional, how much is it? This way. And then we increased the miscellaneous paving. We're currently working through the turnkey for paving. Gonna go ahead and put the special projects that we have, we're putting it out for bid.
We're gonna do it East Bay. Have you had anybody off East Bay to do on that dirt road? Have we gotten anything out there? You mentioned to me you were gonna send a contractor out there to look, see what the cost would be.
I have, Jonathan hadn't got back to me yet. But those special projects, we're gonna go ahead and put that out for bid. Most likely, we'll probably settle it in for the start after October. That way, October one rolls around. How much do we have there? We put an additional $500,000 in miscellaneous paving to handle these small projects and also handle any other projects that we need to do within the city. So we've actually put a higher emphasis on paving this year. And we'll keep asking for state appropriations. State appropriations is the only money you can get for paving in the nation. Let me take that back. There are Tiger grants. Forget it, you're not getting one. Those are Fed grants. I personally don't even know anybody that's ever got a Tiger grant, so.
Right.
Not that they even still have them, I got tired of it.
The only total I didn't get is infrastructure. Where's our balance on that? And how much is encumbered?
There's 9 million in there.
9 million. And how
It's
much?
on the sheet that I provided for you, right? This sheet right here. There's a balance sheet and I have done a summary on the back by fund. And I did it for the cash as of July 31.
Yeah.
There's 9.4 in the general fund, 2.2 in the CRA,
I see that.
9.1 in the CIP, that's the infrastructure money, which is restricted for the infrastructure money, so it's based on all projects, so pretty much with Cherry Street, that's all encumbered.
That 9 million
We don't have
encumbered with Cherry,
Yeah, it's gonna take up Cherry, it's gonna eat that up,
and then some.
and probably then some, yes, sir. Water has 6.6, sewer is 15, solid waste is 2.3, there's a grand total of 41. Now you can't mix and match these funds, some of them are straight. In the yellow block, what I've done is take, based on the 2025, I backed out the restricted, put 17% for reserves, that's required. Instead that's 2.9, so available would be 3.3. I don't agree with 17% at all. You have a hurricane, that 17% isn't gonna cover anything. That's 2.3, that's all you have to pay for $25 million of debris pickup. I believe it should be double that, that's my personal feeling. So on the next thing, I did 34%, which comes up to 4.7, and leaves you 900. The next block of data is based on the 2026 budget as it stands before I gave my notice. So the numbers are going to change. These reserve numbers are constantly going to change because they're going to change as cash is in the bank, and they're going to change as budget numbers change. So you do the same thing and you use the 26. If you go to the 34% on the general fund, you have excess available for operations of 1.4 above that 34%. So basically, what I'm saying there is that's what you have to play with. The rest of the funds, there's really not a lot to play with. The sewer fund, any excess is going to go to lift stations. We're so far behind on lift stations, and that's going to eat that up in a heartbeat. Actually, some of the lift stations, they come out of restricted funds, depending on how they're doing the lift station. Water, it's 1.6, it's really not a lot of money. It sounds like a lot to the general public, but when you're talking the city, that's not a lot of money. And solid waste is the 1.9, based on the budget that's in there today. So that's based on the number. So, if you're talking paving and you wanna know what we can do, you got about $1 million, 1.4, based on the budget that you were presented today. We
That's
still
over
can't-
and above what we're doing in paving in the budget right
That
now.
would be additional funds.
It's additional.
That's just in the general fund, that's not coming out of the
I
CIP.
understand.
And when we originally set up, when the city originally set up that reserve, we set it up at 24%, I believe.
We reduced it to
It
seven.
was
Then it was reduced to 17%.
That's what the statute requires, and that's what we're at, so that's what we put in the audit. It's really not enough to cover it. If you wanna run at 17%, the first time you have some big hiccup, you're gonna be in trouble, and you're gonna be like Lynn Haven and Tampa City, and it's fine that you don't have the reserves.
Well, we had, back then, we had justification of the thinking of 24%. And then later on, you know, whatever is required and all that, but it's not necessarily what you should have. And, is this something that particularly you were recommending we at least go back and rethink that?
Well, I would like to see it go down below what we're running right now. That's why I said I think we need to be about 34%, based on the way these storms are coming and they're getting worse and worse every year. Yeah, we have the FROC, so we get some money fast on these recoveries once you get it, but that's provided you get your documentation together and you move together. We only really went through one major hurricane here. Okay? We're still dealing with that hurricane, by the way. That's not
7
slowed
years
down.
later.
7 years later, I'm still dealing with that hurricane and FEMA trying to get money out of them. That's not a lot, but there's still money left. I did close the box culvert. If you don't know what the box culvert is, that's the Bertha Bridge project. That was finally closed by FEMA. So now we have to keep that around for another 5 years because it's basically closed it. So they still can come back at it, but it's technically closed. So the bridge is paid for and done and it's closed.
I totally agree with Dave. I think we should double our reserves.
It'll start working the way back up instead of
Yes, sir.
going down to the minimum.
Yes, sir, absolutely.
Well, right now, we've got plenty of reserves. If I'm going at 34%, it's still, this money's still in the bank. It's not gone anywhere.
Right.
The cash is gonna be in the bank. So I'm not suggesting we move it some account or somewhere else. That starts to restrict. Okay, we have access to it. It's in the sweep account. It moves every day and gets us interest every single day, back and forth, back and forth. If I spend too much, it takes it out. If I don't spend enough, it puts it back. So it's based on the deposits and the checks that clear the bank every day, and the bank takes care of it, and it just automatically move back and forth, and we get the interest based on that. So basically, if you just keep doing what you're doing, let the sweep account do its business and generate the interest, if you're looking at doing additional funding and spending down reserves, what I'm saying is about all you have is 1.4. If you want to go to the 17%, you got $3 million. I do not recommend going that route.
I'm with you, I say we go 34.
No,
I know some people where you say, oh, 34%, that's too much. No, it's not.
It's not.
It's not every year.
That's not enough even if we.
That's
and we're
good
doing
enough.
We're not talking about 34% of our 56 million.
Correct.
You're talking about 34% of each individual fund.
Right.
So the fund that's going to pay for a major storm is going to be your general fund. When we robbed Peter to pay Paul for the last one, we borrowed money from the sewer fund.
Yep.
We paid that all back. Okay, so that helped us not having to borrow money from the bank. That saved us interest that some of these other cities are still paying. We have no debt from that storm because we managed our funds correctly in the first place. And we used the money we got from FEMA to pay the debt back off, ASAP, versus doing other things with that money. And that's why we're in the condition that we're in. And I guarantee your next financial director is going to be that strict and tell him no. I'm not afraid to tell him no.
I know, so we need to look for somebody that will tell them no.
They shall find somebody.
Definitely appreciate that. Yeah, I think we should go up to
I mean, if you're looking at paving more roads, you got $1 million, $1.5 million, basically, somewhere in that ballpark that you have what I would consider extra.
How long is this road that you're talking about in East Bay?
But you're talking about the East Bay, you're talking about the dirt road in the East Bay.
Yeah. Our roads.
Now,
What's the name of it?
well,
Posted.
posted.
Poston, but is it our road? Because not all the properties on that road.
We're paying to have it, we're paying to have it graded.
It is our road, yes, sir. It's our road.
Is our road?
Well, you pay.
But all the properties on that road are not in the city.
Not all of them, but a majority that they serve.
And it's a mess up there every time it rains. And that's the only dirt road we have in our city.
I will tell you, you know, the rule of thumb is it's $1 million a mile. It won't be for their road, because we'll have to add base and everything else. So that's something else we need to look at. I've got to look at it.
We just need to have some kind of figure and kind of, be it this year or next year budget to fix that particular problem. Because in reality, how much are we spending on grading that road? You know, 50, 60 grand a year. I don't know how much it is. I don't know what that total is. We're having to pay the county to grade that road. You know.
We paid them tons.
Right.
When we said that covered.
Thing. And I think, you know, at the end of the day, we've been at 17% for quite some years. I think Mayor and I were on board when we voted to reduce it to 17%. And when you start thinking about it, I've been here 30 plus 34, 35, maybe 36 years now. First bit Cat 5, never thought we'd see a Cat 5, and I understand the storms are getting bigger and stronger. But I think we did damn good at 17%. You know.
I'm more comfortable we set it at 17%, but I don't think our reserves have ever been that low. I think they've been higher than 17%. And
We're spending about $6,000 a year to have it graded
6,000.
per year.
But irregardless, we still have a dirt road.
Correct.
So I know we probably don't want to put money in East Bay, but we don't want to put money at other places out there. But, you know, still our road. Whoever accepted that, the commission accepted that whole area, which.
Well, the brickyard's gonna be a problem in the future. Maybe we're not gonna be around, but it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Kick that one.
Okay, it won't be for me.
They do post it where all at once. We do it in portions, spread it.
For a mile, you're almost better off because they're gonna pay you the mobilization costs to bring the equipment out there and then bring it back and bring it back. If you're there, you might as well do it.
Yeah.
Well, also, let's be honest about the hurricane situation. This city, of all the cities here, was properly insured.
Yeah. Wonder what?
So that helps out.
I remember bringing that subject up many, many years ago. Mayor and I did. We weren't insured.
Well, Brown and Company gave us the estimate. Where to go? Okay.
I think every year that we escape hurricane, it's a blessing. So I think we need to continue to build our reserves for the next, because there will be.
And they're there, it's not like we're saying, well, it's there, I mean, if something comes up, there's money there.
And in the meantime, that money's making money, which helps us with other things.
Exactly. Anything else on reserves?
No.
Does anybody in the audience want to comment? Anybody in the audience want to comment on reserves? If not, we'll go on to stormwater rates. I'm assuming, who wanted, was that something y'all put on stormwater rates?
Well, we discussed it at the meeting.
We've been discussing stormwater for years and years and years at $1. And I mentioned we probably should go to 5, and I don't know what the rest of this is thinking. Of course, we reduce our ad valorem, and we're gonna take that $4 or $5 and put it in stormwater. We don't have enough water. We're not taking in enough money on stormwater, period.
No, if we raise it a little bit,
I
maybe
think
we'll
a dollar
have
should
enough
be
we could do,
you know.
but maybe we would raise enough to do a stormwater
Thank
study
you.
to find out just
Right.
where. Now, do we have an idea of what the cost of the stormwater study would be?
I have it, and I don't have it. I'm trying to see if I can figure it, but we're putting out that email right now. We actually put in for a grant, and for some reason I have not been able to find it. We did not get the grant. Surprise. And what I would like to see happen is, let's just figure out the cost of that grant, divide it out. I would probably say it's gonna be $3 at the most. And let's pay to have the study done. The study will do exactly it will tell us what projects need to be done within the city. And then we can look at it next year and see what we can fund, if we're adequate, and move forward with that route.
Have the justification.
Yeah, we just need to do something. We haven't done anything with stormwater in 10, 12 years. Well, that rate's been here since probably the existence of the calorie.
I don't think so.
Again.
No, I don't think so. I think for a long time we didn't collect any.
Right.
And then I think we voted to put it at $1 because we couldn't really justify doing it very high, so we did $1. But you think if we go to $3, that would cover the cost of the study?
That would cover the cost.
Well, since
I
we
had
had
that
that number of dollars, we have we been spending? What's our
I think it's,
balance?
yeah, but you,
We've been,
well,
We don't have a balance, we use it.
Where you use the balance?
I was gonna say, it's just being
I mean, we use it for
stormwater.
We certainly get about $100,000 a year on stormwater fees. Again, it's not charged to everybody, it's only people in the city. So the budget says 108, we're projecting 107, historically we're 101, 104, 105, 106, so you're looking at 107. So if you add $2 to that, you're gonna get $200,000.
$200,000.
Yeah,
And I look up,
that will cover it.
okay, so what's everybody think about $3? I mean, that's only raising it $2.
I don't have any problems between.
That's only $24 a year.
Right.
what's the increase for?
To do a stormwater study.
To do the stormwater study, okay? If we got a purpose for raising it, but if we just raise it, really don't have a stated purpose.
I think, the study needs to be done, period.
Yep.
You know, and, I don't know, the water study, are we gonna see that anytime soon, or I know you told me last meeting that you've gone into the last revision, we're close to final on that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly when it's gonna come. There's a flurry of emails that go back and forth every day. It's, we got some lift stations that are getting ready to come online now. We wanna make sure that those are in there. They just come back and they request more information. We keep getting it for them. So the study will be very complete. And it has switched up, some of the priorities listed in here. So when we get it, yes, we'll get it to you as soon as we get it done. It's not, and I don't have a problem telling you. This is a daily email that goes back and forth for 3 days.
Can we do this for 1 year, with $2 increase?
And we have a certain color, okay?
I think you'll find out that the $3 after the study is gonna have to be a lot higher.
Right, if the study's gonna tell us we've got these problems, we need money for it. That's not the time to cut it, it's time to go up to 5.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I agree. I think one of the cities is at 40.
Yep, that'll give us the justification to say what we need to, so.
It's not the issue of bringing it up, it's the issue that we need to fix our city.
Well, and I would say, we don't do it and say, oh, it's just, we just do it, and then next year we'll address whatever we need
Right.
to.
When was the last stormwater study done here?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So,
We
you
paid
know,
that.
I don't think we need to say, oh, we're just doing it, I think we just need to say we're gonna go up to $3, and then we'll address it with next year.
Approximately, time flies, approximately 15 years ago, when we did that stormwater study back then. I raised it when I did try to clean up my.
We did a partial study. We did a partial study after the storm. That's what tied in with the Jan Drive Vision of Youth projects.
But pre-you, we did have a study approximately like 5 or 10 years before you.
And I think we all know how successful that Jan Drive project was. Those people have not experienced any flooding since then. one will be down there that's.
That was a great idea.
So I
Did you
think,
find your email with what the cost is?
I went through every one of these.
You told us a while back, but I
yeah,
It seemed to me like it was, it's less than 200.
that's what I was thinking, you said
Yeah.
like 150.
I think it's I think it's 150. Now, I've got like 4
well,
messages.
if it's $150, $3 will give you 200,000.
That's right, so if it's a little, things like
We will,
hoardings.
we will have to bring this back to the commission at the next meeting
Check.
as an agenda item, to change that billing. At which point I will have all the justification in there.
Right, okay.
Okay,
Is that be all right?
Yeah, I know we can't make a decision today.
no, no, we don't vote on it.
Well, we just, this will just give direction to us to have that, we'll have that information and the proposal ready for y'all at the next commission.
Yep, sounds good.
I can increase the.
Gotta change your
How
billing.
much, if we change the rate, how much in advance do we have to notice that?
Does that have to be
I don't
noticed?
know if it's the same as the utility bills, if like the water fees or sewer or not, that would be a question. So it may not happen right away, it might happen a couple months delay if we have to give the 60-day notice.
At most 60 days.
Yeah,
I'm not sure on the fee, it
yeah.
falls under the same as your water rates and sewer rates.
I just, in my mind, we need to move forward with this. We have done zero stormwater.
We need to.
And we don't want to end up with, some of our sister cities like the beach, and all of a sudden you're assessing citizens $40, $50 a year.
Yeah, I was significantly wrong.
What?
We put in for a grant for 285,000 of, for 286,000 was to do the whole entire city. And then we had requested a grant for 212 with a match of 73, so it's actually 285,000.
So we have to take the entire $3.
So will $3 cover it?
So they won't give any money for this year. It won't cover it because the 100,000 this year is accounted for, correct? As an expense.
So you need another 3.
So we need another dollars. You'd have to go to
So if
4.
we go to 4,
Unless you take the expenditures out of the budget for this year. Which I don't want to do.
Oh,
We need it. We need it.
You would still need to expend it and would probably come out of the CRA side.
will you figure out?
The CRA is if you, we're doing the dam over there, spillway, it's gonna eat the CRA up if we don't get a grant for that.
Well, you figure out by Tuesday's meeting.
Yeah, I'll
So
have
it's
it all
gonna
ready.
be on the agenda, figure what we're gonna need to go to cover the cost of the study.
You don't have to go to solid dollar. You could go to 350.
Exactly, so
Yeah,
that's
we'll
what you can
we'll
just
figure it out.
figure out based on number of accounts, then that would be charged to, because you did say outside the city,
Correct.
so. Then you really expect lots of numbers on Tuesday. Good numbers. Anything else on stormwater? Did anybody in the audience want to comment on the stormwater rates? Not seeing anybody? And so we'll see everybody next Tuesday night. And anybody that's interested, Historical Society meets this Thursday night at the community center at 9:30. There's Rob is gonna talk about Civil War stories. So it should be interesting. So, well, I guess we're adjourned. Bob's leaving, so